Hello everyone, welcome back to EduMoon Tutorials. I am Vidya, your instructor for Database Management Systems. In our last lecture, we have discussed about the additional features of ER model. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss the conceptual database design with ER model. So let's get started. Conceptual database design is the second step in the database design. We start the step by considering the requirements that we have acquainted from the requirement analysis step. So, we'll usually transform the requirements that we have collected in the requirement analysis into an ER diagram in this step. So, in order to build an ER diagram, we should make certain choices. After collecting what are the data that is to be stored in a database and what are the operations to be performed and also the performance requirements, we should make certain choices for our database system. The choices include: should a concept be modeled as an entity or an attribute? Should a concept be modeled as an entity or a relationship? And what are relationship sets that we should apply in our database? And also, we should decide whether we should use a binary or a ternary relationship. And finally, we should also know whether to use the aggregation or not. So, let's see each of these choices with an example for better understanding. Our first choice that is to be made is: should a concept be modeled as an entity or an attribute? Let's see the entity versus attribute to understand it. Here, when we are identifying the attributes, sometimes it is not clear that whether a property should be defined as an attribute or an entity. For example, the address information of an employee. This can be modeled in two ways. The first option would be define it as an attribute for the employee entity, and the second option would be consider it as a separate entity set. We'll consider the second option under two conditions. The first condition might be we want to store multiple addresses for one employee. It can be a temporary address and a permanent address for each employee. And the second reason would be we want to structure the address of the employee. For example, we want to have three divisions in our address of an employee, like city, state and country. So, if we have these requirements in our requirement analysis step, we will be considering one of these options. So, let us take another example and let us understand it in depth. So, here we have a works and relationship between the employee and the department. So, employee works in one department. There are two descriptive attributes for the works and relationship, that is from and to. This shows the time, the duration for the employee working in that particular department. So, let us suppose that an employee can be working in any number of departments over a period of time. For example, here employee E1, let us take Sia, she can be working in two departments. So, in the works and relationship, the number of fields and the number of values to be stored increases. So, in order to address this problem, we can take this to and from as a separate entity instead of defining them as an attributes. See, in here I have transformed this into this model where I have created another new entity set, which is a duration, and I have assigned these two attributes as the attributes instead of assigning them as the descriptive attributes. Now I'll be able to store to and from values, that means the duration value for each employee. So the only thing I wanted to tell you is we will design the ER model depending upon the requirement for that application. So it changes from an application to applications, and even the choices that we should make also depends on the requirements and the restrictions that we have on the database. So this completes the entity versus attribute. Let's see the second assumption choice that we should make, that should a concept be modeled as a entity or a relationship? Let's look at this example to understand it. Here we have a relationship managers between an employee and a department. And the managers relationship have two descriptive attributes, that is since and budget. Right. So let's assume that each department has one manager and one manager is given certain budget. Now let's take one requirement from our requirement analysis, that a budget given to one manager is the sum of the budget for all the departments he is managing, right? The model that we have here with this assumption has two problems. The first problem is the manager's relationship now should be storing redundant values. The second problem would be this entire design is misleading, because here, according to our assumption, the budget should be associated with the manager entity and not the manager's relationship. So, to address this problem, we are transforming this into this model where we will define another entity set, managers, and we will assign these two descriptive attributes as the attributes to this entity, and we will also define another relationship, is a relationship, implying that manager is also an employee, right? So manager is an employee, and this manager is given some budget for each department he is working, and also from when he is working. Now this manager is related with a relationship to the department managers, right? So this is how, according to our assumption, we have defined and we have redesigned our ER model. So this completes our entity versus relationship. Binary versus ternary relationship. Even this choice is dependent on the database that we are working on and also the constraints that we have on the data. So I am taking a small example so that you can understand it better. So there is a relationship works in between an employee and the department. And I have a requirement in my requirement analysis that a person can be transferred from one location to another location only after a certain amount of period of time. So I should include the location of the employee to the employee, and along with the since and name of that location. Only then I'll be able to calculate the number of years of that employee in one location, and I'll be able to transfer him to the next location. So I have two options for doing so. I can either design it in the binary by making the location as one of the attribute in the employee, or I can make it as a ternary relationship by taking location as a separate attribute and having two attributes, since and name of that location for that attribute. I have chosen the second option because the first option is computationally difficult. So I am taking the second option, and I have designed this thing too like this, where I have defined a separate location entity set with the since and name attribute. So this completes the binary and ternary. Like I said, it all depends upon the database and the constraints that you have on the database. And the final choice that we should make is aggregation versus ternary relationship. This is also done in the similar fashion. Depending upon the situation, we decide whether to use an aggregation or not. We have discussed about aggregation in depth in our last video. I recommend you to watch that video for understanding it better. So we will use aggregation only when we want one relationship set to participate in another relationship set. So this completes our today's lecture. I'll meet you in the next lecture where we will be discussing the introduction to the relational model. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.